If one common element weaves through the numerous festivals and fairs in India, it is the sheer explosion of color and the endless surge of pilgrims. The synergy of sight and sound makes the festivals of rural India as vivid as they are stimulating. On the full moon of the month of Kartik by the Hindu almanac, October-November as per the solar calendar, a lake 11 kilometers from the town of Ajmer in Rajasthan becomes the setting for one such festival, a festival where the most unusual collection of pilgrims and traders congregate. The pilgrims come to bathe in the historic lake of Pushkar, a lake whose sanctity has been conferred on it by religious mythology. And for these devout believers, a holy dip during this sacred period brings them a step closer to salvation and Moksha. Because it was on this spot that Bramha, the supreme creator, performed a Vedic yagna. Today, a major temple honoring Lord Bramha is situated here, perhaps the only temple dedicated to the Lord of the universe. For the traders who come from far and near, Pushkar becomes vital for a more mundane reason. During the next 5 days, the best collection of camels and cattle will be on display here for buying and selling. In the desert landscape of Rajasthan, camels play a significant role. They are the beasts of burden and the principal vehicle of transportation in the rural settings. Here in Pushkar, the camels form a dominant motif and almost become the symbol for the cattle fair. But over the years, Pushkar has become a pilgrimage for many others, only to savor the sights and sounds of the bazaar. Tourists from all over the world descend on this tiny village to enjoy the scenes and imbibe the atmosphere. For these select guests, special tents have been erected, designer tents which have all amenities including for the fastidious traveler. The festival is also carnival time for the local inhabitants, with Ferris wheels, curio stalls and even an adventurous hot air balloonist against the dazzling blue sky as source of entertainment. And the enchanting folk dances of Rajasthan in all its exuberant display leave the visitors mesmerized. The quaintness of Pushkar is also demonstrated in the narrow lanes decorated with bright-colored lights where the multitude throng to see and to be seen. In the evening, the religious character of the fair gets underlined by a dramatic display of the firewalkers. The leap of faith is adequately demonstrated as the pilgrims tread hot, burning coal and come out unscalded. The burning embers and the sparkle of flames dancing out when the devout march through it in a courageous display of absolute and unconditional belief. If religious significance gives Pushkar its rationale, it is the sheer exotica that allows it to prosper. The fascinating images of a palpable and living culture brings back the pilgrims and tourists every year.
Across this desert terrain, caravans from Central Asia once moved, in search of business and barter. And in their wake flourished medieval kingdoms whose legacy is remembered to this day in the culture and folk music of the land. Music which is sung by bards and minstrels using every conceivable instrument.
The camel entourages that crossed these horizons in days gone by are still the single most dominant image of Rajasthan. The fortresses and palaces are rich repositories of legends, evidence of the glory of a bygone era. For Rajasthan is replete with tales of valor and bravery, of mythology and epics. Ruled by the Rajput kings, patrons of art, architecture, and proud defenders of their stylish way of life, it is this boldness of the Rajput spirit that pervades the culture, allowing it to survive the onslaught of invaders and even the enticement of the modern age. The seemingly inhospitable landscape of Rajasthan is enlivened by the riot of colors that one finds in the dresses and turbans of the local men and women. And in the Havelis of Shekhawati, prominent business families have adorned the walls and facades of their homes with bright mural paintings which extol the saga of their lineage and even portray details from the folklore of the region. These Havelis have ornately carved doors and windows. Some of them are being diligently restored to their original splendor. These fabulous homes and palaces are today being converted into heritage hotels for tourists. Heritage hotels are those palaces, forts and Havelis which by government decree must keep intact the facade and furnishing of the original, including the antiques. Converted into luxury suites and rooms with the addition of modern amenities, these heritage hotels allow visitors to sample the graciousness and opulence of Rajasthan's glory without sacrificing their daily comforts. In Udaipur, the palace of the local Maharaja, set in the scenic lake, is one of the more popular tourist destinations. The Lake Palace is famous as a luxury hotel renowned for its unique collection of artifacts and art objects. The Umaid Bhawan Palace of Jodhpur, 500 kilometers from Delhi, is once again more than just the residence of the erstwhile ruler of the region. A section of the palace with all its antique conversation pieces have been preserved intact and has been converted into one of the most glamorous of Rajasthan's hotels. For the visitors, the hotel even provides a crash course in Rajasthani culture. Amidst a campfire and the sumptuous array of a buffet dinner, local music and dance transports the visitors to the fable and fantasy of the Rajasthani lifestyle. But no visit to Jodhpur is complete without a trip to the imposing Mehrangarh Fort. The impressive fortress commands an eagle's eye view of the city of Jodhpur and was built at this strategic location to keep at bay the armies of the invaders. For most tourists, however, Rajasthan is synonymous with the desert festival of Jaisalmer. Jaisalmer is at the western edge of the state. The golden fort of Jaisalmer, burnished by the glow of the evening sun, has a mythical quality. A quality shared by this quaint town, whose narrow streets and bylanes have been converted into a veritable marketplace of trinkets, local fabrics, textiles and handicrafts. The Havelis of Jaisalmer, with their ornate facades, were once the pride of the rich merchants who lived here. Today, these intricately carved structures are no less majestic, saluting the artistry and the fine craftsmanship of their builders. But Jaisalmer is a desert town, and with all desert civilizations, music, dance and celebration are a central theme of the lifestyle. Here in Jaisalmer, all this is found in great and natural abundance amidst the most stunning desert backdrop. Rajasthan and its various districts gives one an opportunity to savor a magical mystery tour. A tour of a civilization whose continuity and majesty leaves an indelible and lasting impression on the visitors.
The gem and jewellery industry is one of the most glittering success stories of Indian enterprise. With an impressive legacy of a country which has produced some of the world's most famous diamonds, like the Dresden Green, the Kohinoor and the Regent, India today has become the world's largest diamond centre. So much so that today 7 out of every 10 diamonds worn in the world are cut and polished in India. It is against this glittering background that the India International Jewellery Show 94 was held last week at the World Trade Center in Bombay. Showcasing some of the finest examples of Indian craftsmanship and technology in the gems and jewellery industry, the exhibition was a perfect forum for buyers and sellers to meet and conduct business worth millions of dollars. However, this glamorous industry is among the very few sectors which is unfazed by the ongoing liberalization process. In fact, even when many of the countries of the developed world were passing through recession, the Indian gems and jewellery industry sparkled with resilience by recording impressive growth. No doubt, the cutting and polishing skills of the Indian artisans have made the industry a force to reckon with in the global market. Which is why, in terms of carats, 70% of the diamonds cut in the world are accounted for by India. In terms of value, India accounts for 40% of the share of the global trade.
India merging as one of the most competitive as far as the price wise is concerned. And second thing about the volume, we are doing 70% of the total rough process in the world.
The reasons for this impressive performance are obvious. As Western buyers have realized, India has a huge pool of skilled jewelers, low labor rates and great traditions in techniques. Add to this the well-organized semi-precious cutting industry and the 100% export processing zones, and you have an impressive pedigree by any country's standards. Simultaneously recognizing that the industry could be the golden goose for India's healthy foreign exchange reserves, the government has made all efforts to help the industry boom. Reduction in duties on machinery required by the diamond industry has also helped in providing easier access to more sophisticated equipment from the West and helped them compete successfully in the export market.
What happens is the government is now on the liberalization scheme. They want to further boost exports from India, and they have recognized jewelry to be a thrust export sector. What is happening is now, a few years ago, they abolished the Gold Control Act, which really encouraged all of us to come into SEEPs and have our factories. Now they are allowing a lot of liberalization, having dollar accounts abroad for banking, taking loans from foreign banks, reducing the interest rates from our present banking system, which should be further liberalized to encourage exports.
The boom in the industry is also reflected in the functioning of the traders. Having operated for years in the crowded lanes of Bombay's Opera House region, the diamond traders have pooled in their resources and are setting up a new diamond bourse near Bandra in Bombay. Estimated to cost about $200 million, the new diamond complex will be the largest in the world and will be ready by 1996. Meanwhile, the hunt for gold is taking the gem and jewellery industry to hitherto ignored areas. While foreign markets such as the US, Belgium and Japan continue to be the main thrust for diamantaires, many of them are also looking inwards at the immense domestic market. This is mainly because of the high priority given to gems and jewellery as an integral part of personal adornment, motivated also because of its intrinsic investment savings value. It is no wonder that businessmen are studying the domestic market with a glint in their eyes, reflected in the glitter of gold, the sparkle of diamonds and the colour of money.